first time drunk, or my first time talking in front of 1,000 people drunk. I used to be ridiculously fat. I wasn't always the picture of health for you now. So I'm going to make a few comments on the subject, because I have experience. Just the other day I was at an all-you-can-eat buffet. There was this lady, well, at one time she probably resembled a lady. I swear to God, she must have been 400 pounds. 500. I was drunk that night too, so I was, maybe it was just people standing together, I don't know. But I don't even know how they got her in the building, but she was there. It was kind of hard to miss. And she was sitting conveniently in the closest table next to the buffet line, because God forbid she had to walk more than 5 feet in between trips. And believe me, there was plenty of trips. I was keeping tallies. It took me about 3 sheets of paper. But this lady did something I never did in all my fattiest days. She started making requests to the cooks at a buffet. I'm thinking, bitch. This is what I'm thinking in between. You got 20 trays to choose from. Pick something. And let's be honest, up to this point in her life, she hasn't exactly exercised a lot of discretion about what she puts in her mouth. Pretty much the rule of thumb has been, if it can fit in her mouth, it's going in her mouth. Doesn't have a choice. The good thing about ridiculously fat people, though, is that you can eat whatever you want in front of them, and not feel guilty. No, it's true. For instance, a skinny person, if you're eating junk food, you might walk out of the room, you might cover your mouth, you're trying to hide it. You can eat an entire cake in front of a fat person. Because let's be honest. What are they going to say? They're not going to want to judge you. They're going to want some of it. They're going to want a slice. That's what they're going to want. There's nothing hotter, though, than a girl doesn't eat. Okay, I got one left. Okay, maybe I'm not the lead sicko. If you guys have been with one of these girls, you're at a restaurant, she's just picking at her food, puts it in her mouth, spits it out, just teasing, I fucking love that shit. You can actually see her getting thinner. Bones protruding. Makes my bone protrude. I had a buddy who's always dating fat women. And I asked him one time, like, Alex, you're a good looking guy, what should you do? They got a fetish? What is it? And he's like, no, dude, they got big tits. I'm like, dude, they got big everything. Big arms, big legs, big guts, big appetites. Fat doesn't discriminate. It's gonna go wherever there's room. And if there's no room, it'll make room. Leave behind a nasty little reminder of stretch marks. And speaking of stretch marks, is there a more clear sign that you might need to start monitoring your calorie intake? When your skin is literally breaking itself to hold your fat ass together?
Oh, man.
Enough about the fatty jokes. My girlfriend of 3 years recently broke up with me. Well, recently, it was like 3 years ago. But I still... As you can see, I haven't moved on. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, she broke up, this is the hard part. She broke up with me on my birthday. And I asked her, I was, how could you do that? How could you be evil enough to do that? And she said, well, to make me feel better. She thought about it. Long pause looked at me. I was ready for some heartfelt response. She's like, oh, I forgot it was your birthday. Oh, thank you. That helped.
It's got a minute left. Come on, what else?
Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, and she broke up with me over the phone, which is always gutless, especially after 3 years. But she probably made a smart move, because I've always found it's much harder to kill someone over the phone than in person. And it was tough when she broke up with me, because she was so beautiful. I mean, look at her, she's completely out of my league. She really was. And I was addicted to her, like sexually, I really was. So like for a time, whenever I looked at porn, I subconsciously would look at girls that looked like her. And if you ever heard anything creepier than that, let me know. But luckily for me, she was Asian, so it usually didn't take very long. It's about two clicks away, and I was, oh, there she is. No, that's her. And after we broke up, she started dating a black guy and then a 6'8" white guy. Probably at the same time, because as it turns out, well, she was a whore. And of course, I wanted her back, so I gave her a call. And I was like, this is a mistake. Just never do this. I was like, well, do you want to get back together? She's like, no. And I should have stopped there, but my inquisitive mind had to find out why. So I was like, what, why not? And she was like, well, another long pause, another heartfelt response. Well, I think it's a question of equipment. Exactly. Well, I don't know. What does that mean? What? Equipment? But of course, my inquisitive mind asked her, what do you mean by that? She's like, well, I can give you a visual response. And I was like, oh, all right. So of course, I pushed the envelope. Okay, she's like, well, when sucking off those guys, I pretty much have to dislocate my mouth to do it, whereas with you, it's more like slurping spaghetti noodles. All right, thank you, everybody.